Well, the gentleman mentioned taxpayers. I think taxpayers might be concerned that this foreign entity, which will ship oil over 1,700 miles across America, will be exempt from a fee that all of the American companies and others using our current pipelines have to pay because of a bizarre ruling from the IRS, who often makes bizarre rulings. Tar sands oil will not be required to contribute toward the Oil Spill Liability Trust Fund. So I think U.S. taxpayers might be concerned that a foreign entity which is going to ship tar sands oil 1,700 miles through the United States to an export zone, in all probability to be processed and exported in a tax-exempt area, won't be paying much, if any, taxes in the U.S., except some property taxes, and won't have to contribute toward this trust fund in case there is a spill with this line. The U.S. taxpayers and other entities in the U.S., mostly U.S. companies, will be liable to pay for their mess. So I have a concern about taxpayers. Another part of this is 3 citizens of the state of Nebraska brought litigation because this bill would give a foreign entity the right to take their private property in the United States of America, in Nebraska, by eminent domain. I don't know, I'm not aware of any other time we have given a foreign entity the right to take the property, the private property of U.S. citizens. These same citizens won a case in district court, and this bill would essentially nullify the ruling that they won, which is still under appeal to the Supreme Court in that state. So here we have a foreign entity that won't pay taxes that other oil companies and others who ship by pipelines will be required to pay. A foreign entity that will be given the right to take the private property of U.S. taxpayers and residents. And for what? Yes, there will be construction jobs, and jobs are good. But those are fairly ephemeral, and there's a lot of other construction going on up particularly in the fracking area and with some proposed liquid natural gas export facilities that will help provide employment in the construction trades. And in this case, there will be 35 permanent jobs for this tax-exempt sludge that will be shipped to a zone in Texas where it's most likely to be exported. Do we need to export more oil, gas, and diesel from the United States of America? Is that going to help lower the price at the pump for Americans? I don't think so. And in fact, we are today exporting 422,000 barrels of gasoline a day, 1.3 million barrels of diesel every day, and yet truckers are still being pretty well extorted at the pump. That's 54.6 million gallons of diesel. And yet our truckers are still being gouged at the pump because there's a diesel shortage. Well, wait a minute, we're exporting that, and now we're going to take this tar sand goop, process it in the U.S. and export it. That's not going to help the truckers. It's not going to help the American consumers. And then there are some minor environmental issues. Tar sands do create 81% more greenhouse gas than most other forms of fossil fuel extraction. They are going to destroy forever, large portions of boreal forest. Now, sure, that's a Canadian issue. If I lived in Canada, I'd be protesting this. I don't. But we don't need to facilitate it here in the United States of America by building a pipeline there. They will use precious water resources, create huge waste pits that'll be polluted with the extracts, except for the part which is shipped south to be processed and shipped overseas. So I really don't see this as something where we should preempt the laws of the United States. There were 2.5 million comments. Apparently, the Republicans don't care much about the public comments. 2.5 million comments that are still being meaningfully evaluated, raising concerns about various aspects of this project. But Here, I will say, bad legislation, good politics. We're trying to help someone get elected to the Senate who's currently a member of the House. The Senate is moving potentially ahead with this bill. So the House, with very little notice, decided they would bring up this bill, which we have passed in one version or another 8 previous times. So this is nothing but bare, naked politics and the use of the House of Representatives to promote someone's candidacy for the United States Senate, which I think is a really a disgrace to this institution. With that, I would reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from